Hello, guys. Hope you are good and doing great in your daily lives. So, guys, today we will cover the topics. I will talk about incremental development, and then I will discuss composition function in Python and Boolean function in Python. So, you have to stay with me. So, now we will start from the incremental development. Okay. So, guys, as the name shows, increment means something increasing, something added. So, so we will talk about the very common. We will take the very common scenarios, and then we will take the software development examples. Okay. So, for instance, you are well familiar with days. Every day has 24 hours, and all days means 7 days. They just make or to increment the weeks, and weeks increments the months, and the months increment the year. So now you can say that every day you have you sleep, you eat, you study, you play, you go for job. So every day is incrementing, and all those days incrementing to weeks, and those weeks increment to months, and 12 months they increment a year. And every year we celebrate our birthdays, and then if we are married, so we celebrate our anniversaries or wedding anniversaries. So what actually doing that we are incrementing our days to months, months to years, and years to centuries. Okay. Now take another example. So this is the human development stages. So now you can see we start our lives from this stage, everyone, like from infant stage, and then we just travel to the old age. So these are actually the different stages of our development, human development life. Okay, guys. So now, if we see that in software development, so for example, if you see here, so there are three increment. So just imagine that you are going to develop and design a library system. So, and for instance, there are 10 features in library system which you want to develop. So, and you divide those features into increments based on the client requirement. For example, you say that from feature 1 to feature 5, I will give in increment 1, and from feature 6 to feature 8, I will give in increment 2, and from feature 8 to onward, I will give in increment 3. Okay. And every increment, so analysis, design, code, and test, these are the common activities. For feature 1 to 5, you analyze them, then you gather the requirement, then you design it, then you code it, then you test it, and then you release increment 1. Likewise, increment 2 and increment 3. These semicircles, they are actually showing the iteration or iterative. So I'll just elaborate more here. For example, these are the software development activities which are being done in every iteration. In every iteration, iteration is actually, you can say iteration is a small cycle of development in which we divide our different features, that is I was discussing about increment, into small increment, and we deliver within this small duration, means within this small time. So nowadays there are different models, and agile model is very common. So agile model is providing iterative and the incremental approach. So the difference in iterative and incremental, so in incremental, what we are doing, we are actually giving the additional features in every increment. But in iterative, we are not only we are not only giving the added feature, but we are actually also reviewing or revisiting our versions. For example, if you see here version 1, version 2, and version 3, so in this iterative approach, in this approach, what we are doing that we are not only we have not only released a version 1 and we started working on version 2, but after version 2, as soon as we got a bug or something from our client, so we need to revisit it and we improve it. And likewise, in version 2, again, we will improve it and add some more features and we will release version 3. So actually, agile model is not only incremental, but it also the iterative model. So in iterative incremental, that we are going to add some more features in our new release, but at the same time, we are fixing bug in previous release and we are improving the previous release based on the feedback of our user. I hope you understand it. Okay, now we will take an example. For instance, uh, I want to make a function or a program, you can say, which calculate the area of rectangle. So I divided actually this program into three increment, like increment 1, 2, and 3. So any increment 1, what I will do, I ask value of width and length from the user, and then I will test that whether code is working or not. Then I will define a very simple function without parameters, and then I will see that whether it is working. In increment 3, what I will do that I will again modify this function and add two parameters and I will see whether it is working or not. Okay, guys. So this is not the hard and fast rule that you will also divide this program into three increment. You can divide in 2, 3, 4, 5 depending on your requirement. One thing you need to know that increment here the objective of the incremental development is that uh, initially you write a small code and then you test it and then you add more features and then you again test it. So likewise you keep on adding feature and testing it, and by this way you can finish your product and with the less time and with the less bugs. Okay, now what we will do, we will take an example here. So, okay. So, for example, increment 1 width. So, in increment 1, we are going to ask from the user about the width of our rectangle, length of our rectangle, and then we are going to see that whether it is working or not. So, for example, what is width, and then what is length, and here we go. So, here, okay. So, we are saving it and then we will see whether it is working or not. So testing is important. Yes, enter width. So I say 12. Oh, I just make a little more space here. So maybe here I just say this one, and here I say this one, and I make a little more space to look cool. Okay, so now I'm going to run it and see. So I'm just giving the value like 12 and then length is 3333. So yes, yeah, wow, it is working. Okay, now in increment, this is increment 1, increment 2, what I need to do in increment 2. So I go back and see increment 2, define a simple function and then display result. Okay, so I go back here and then I declare here the function as you know with def statement. And here I write area, okay, area rectangle, and then, so I have to write a very simple function. Fine. So here I will write no. Now because these are the part of your like this function. So if I, because I need to use these two values in my function here. So what I will do, there are two methods. One is that I will just copy this one, this stuff, and place here, that whenever I will run this function, and I will remove this stuff because I have tested them, and I will remove this as well. Okay, so now what I will do, I will write the formula. So here I say area is equal to width and then length. Okay, and now I want to display the result. So I will say area of rectangle is equal to, and then here I write area and then I close it. And now what I will do, I will call my function. So this is my increment 2. So I just do here. So this is my increment 2. Okay. Now if I run it here, so now it is asking the, so see, this is the area of rectangle. Now what I did, that increment 1, I just tested them. It was working fine. Now I will go back to my iteration and see in iteration in increment 3, sorry, what I need to do, modify with two parameters, pass the argument, display answer, and then okay. I will go back to my code and then I will modify. Okay. So if I want to modify it, so what I need to do, I can say this is the increment 3, and what I want to do. So I will just copy the whole stuff here and then I will paste here and then I will, because I need to pass what I need to pass, what I need to pass. Yes, yeah. So I need to pass these two values here. So what I will do, I will just take it from here and I will just put them here. Okay. So I will put here, or you can put on the top as well, just like your increment 1 here. So you can put here as well. So it is up to you. Okay, now increment 1 this, increment 2 is this, still it is working. And but because you have to take this down, so then now you need to just remove them from here so that they will not ask you two times like input values. So increment 3 is actually what you are doing, that you are creating now two parameters. So okay, what are those two parameters? Width and length. Okay, okay, and then what you want, that it should print the area and not from the within the function. So here what are you doing? So you are returning area. Wherever you will call this function, you should return the your this one. So you can keep them here. So because we will not call it, so it doesn't matter whether they are written here or not. So I just copy it again so that you guys don't confuse. Okay. Now for increment 3, what I did, I created two parameters. And now after creating these two parameters, so here just see that from here I will get the values, and then now I will call this function. So straight away, instead of calling here, I will just remove from here, and then I will say area of rectangle, and here I will call the function directly. And what is the function? Area rectangle, and then I will pass width and length, and then I will close it. Okay, so what it will do that these actually the input values, and these values will be passed on as a argument to my parameters, and here these parameters will be multiplied. And guys, by the way, I'm sorry if one thing I have did wrong, because if we are going to, no, it's okay, because we are calculating the area. Oh, okay, okay, sorry guys. Okay, now I'm going to save it and just see that what how it goes. Fine. So 12, then 33, and why it is asking again? Okay. Okay, guys, we need to see why it is happening, why it asked two times. Okay, we go back to our code, and we see this is one time, and okay. Oh, so we shouldn't call this. That was the reason. Okay, now we'll save it, and then we will run it again, and we will see. Okay, then I will keep the values same, and yes, see. So now what you have done, so we will see the increment 1, increment 2, and increment 3. So guys, this is a way that how actually you can, although it was not so complex problem, but you can handle even the complex problem with the incremental development. Okay, guys. So now we go back to next topic, composition function. Oh, so in this function, actually one function may input of the other function. Okay, here I will just explain this composition function by taking an example. For example, if you want to calculate profit, okay, from your investment, that you have invested some money and you want to calculate the profit from a function profit, and then want to add this profit into your future investment through future investment function. Okay, so here you see that this is one function, and that function name is profit. So to this function, we want to we have two parameters, that is profit rate and principal amount. Okay, so this function will return the profit. This function will return the profit. Okay, so now the other function, that is the future investment function. So this function, what it will do, it will give you the future investment. Okay, so when you will run this code, so here if you see that the input of profit function, the input of the profit function, sorry, output of the profit function will be the input of the future investment. So if you see here that there are two parameters, and here we are passing the value as a argument, like 9 as a profit rate, while 50,000 as a principal amount. So what we are doing, so we are actually passing two arguments to these two parameters of the function profit, and the output of this profit will be the input of investment. If you see here, see profit amount. So this profit amount will be added into $150,000, and then it will our future investment. Okay. So if you see this answer, so here future investment in dollars is $154,500. So this is actually, so now you can understand that what we are doing actually, that we are calling one function into another function. So one function, the input of the output of this function is the input of future investment. So this is actually the composition function which is used in Python. And you have to see that actually whether in your requirement, how does it fit? Okay. Now, Boolean function. So, guys, you need to understand that in Boolean function, so Boolean function actually returns you two values, whether it is false or true. So, if you see these scenarios, in these scenarios, all the time, the bool, so bool is actually a function. So, bool returns false in these all scenarios. For example, if you assign 0 to any integer or float number, or there is an empty list, or there is an empty tuple, or there is an empty string or empty dictionary, or you assign none to any of your variable or false to any of your variable, in all these scenarios, including this one, so you will get false value of bool function, while in other you get the true value. Okay, now we'll show you or explain you by showing you an example. So if you see here that here what I did, that I assigned 10 to a number. So number is actually my integer variable. So and I'm asking that whether this number is bool number true or false. So in this case I will get true. Yes, true. And but in this case, because I have assigned none value to well, and if you see this previous slide, if anything assigned none to any variable, so the answer must be or could be false. See, here is the false. So likewise in empty list you can see here an empty tuple, you can see here and value. So in this empty cases, you will get false, false. Likewise in dictionary, where is dictionary string. Okay, dictionary is not here. Okay, anyways, so for empty dictionary we will get also false. Okay, so if you see here string, for string what we are getting, for string we are getting again false, and so this is also string hello guys, but we are getting true because there is something in the string, so that's why. So guys, this is actually the boolean function, and we use this bool function in some scenarios where actually we want to see that whether a list is empty or tuple is empty or string is empty, and we want something, we want some operation or we want some further calculation. So actually a bool function are being utilized for the multiple reasons. So I hope guys you enjoyed this lecture. Thank you very much for your time and for listening me. Bye bye.